All right, rainbow flick, no problem. Should not be able to do a rainbow flick as consistent. Ball roll, perfect. Low driven, perfect. My exact point. And immediately, right? Cancelo's on the ball. Immediately, look, skill moves are fine. The left stick dribbling is fine. Passing, the exact same thing. Everyone can do the same skill moves. The passing's the same. Look, no player is being punished as of right now. But I think I finally figured out where we're going with the issues with the game feeling heavy, the game feeling delayed. Now, on your screen, you are seeing something, and it's set up in particular for this reason. You probably figure yourself, NaNNiK, what are you doing? Now, right now, it doesn't matter which player you have where because of the animations. And let me expand upon this, right? So if you have tall defenders or tall attackers or tall midfielders, and I'll move my camera out of the way in a second so you can see, in terms of height, the only important thing you really need to have in this game is 5-star weak foot, 5-star strong foot. The reason being is passing's the same for every single player, shooting's the same for every single player, the tackling's the same for every single player, the dribbling's the same for every single player, skill move animations is the same, right? So everything's the same. So you can have Van de Ven up front with Twenzebe, right? If we have a look at those statistics, you can see here, 34 finishing and 59 shot power. 37 finishing, 68 dribbles. They're very, very similar, right? And we can go down to defense, and I could swap them over, but I'm going to get to this in a second. Now, yes, I've got Calafiori, who is obviously very tall and very quick. Now, the most important factors in UFL as of right now, what I'm noticing, is pace is king, kind of like FIFA in the old days, but all body types are the same. Whether you have Messi, who's really small, or Haaland, who's really tall, or Mbappe, who's in the middle, right? They all do the same animations. Some will feel heavier than others, depending on your personal gameplay, not to do with how the animations work. And I'm going to go into a game with this team and show you exactly what I mean. So, for example, Haaland's amazing in this game for winning headers. Could be down to the fact he has really good headering stacks, or could be down to the fact that he's just really tall and he wins a lot of headers. Now, I don't know about skills. Of course, skills could be a massive factor, but as of right now, I don't want to elaborate on that. I don't know if they work specifically or they don't. Prime example is you could have anything in terms of interceptor, right? An interceptor just doesn't feel like it does anything. Like, I don't have them on my players anymore. I know that we have Claimer with tackling. But again, tackling, you don't have to press a button to tackle. You just press left trigger, right trigger, or L2, R2 to tackle. Tackles automatically. And Rashford will tackle the exact same way as Van de Ven. There's no different animation in that. Maybe if I manually tackle by pressing B or circle, or if I slide tackle pressing X or square, there'll be a difference. So once you realize that's how this game works, it does become much easier. Now, I know I get this all the time. Oh, you're only in diamond, you're only in platinum, you're only in silver, etc. So I'm going up the ranks for you guys to prove that it is the point. Now, you can see here, I'm winning a few games, losing a few games, but predominantly winning. Now, I haven't done this with the team in terms of this, but I have got my head around what works. Now, Endrick's a really great example, right? Endrick feels so good in this game because of how quick he is. The reason why people like him, and it could be down to the skills again, like I said, I don't have a lot of information what works and what doesn't, but his shooting animation is the exact same as Twenzebe, or the exact same as Chiesa, or the exact same as Rashford, or the exact same as Calafiori. Now, I will say, finesses, they are definitely different with certain players. Like, Rashford is really good at finesses, and it would make sense because he's got bullseye level 3. So I'm not saying skills don't work. They definitely do work, but I'm just saying I don't want to expand upon that. But we're going to try today with Twenzebe and Van de Ven up front, with neither shooting skill points at all, and really low finishing. And the exact same. Yes, you could argue, oh, your Casemiro's got 93 defending, though. That's correct. He's also very, very similar to Calafiori. That's why I've done it. Now, I'm going to have Locatelli at right back, who's very good at DM. And I'm going to have Rashford at left back, who's absolutely terrible at defending because he's an attacker. Now, I could move these around a little bit more. Like, I could put Chiesa there and there. But then the issue I have is I've got a midfielder in midfield, and you guys will probably be upset. So, to make this argument even fairer, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have Chiesa at right back. And we're going to have Calafiori and Locatelli, CDM, and centre mid and centre back, right? I'm going to play the exact same tactic I always play. I've got Cancelo here. Now, let me expand upon why I have Cancelo here. Cancelo is 3-star, 5-star, has good passing stats, good pace, has terrible finishing, but, you know, it is what it is. But he does boost players around him. So these skills, in my opinion, shouldn't work if a player's out of position. But we're going to see if that matters as well. So what I'm saying to you is animations don't really make much difference because they all have the same body build and same animations. The reason why we refer back to FC25 so much is because they have body builds around them. If you look on their body types, they've got unique. Ronaldinho has his own one. Mbappe has his own one. Then we have the stock, average, tall, small, etc. With this game right now, there is no indication, and I could be wrong with this, it's just a theory if you like, but there is no information anywhere on this screen that gives you a player's build. Their body type, their accelerate type, whatever, you know. They all just have their height, their weight, and that's it. And I don't think I've noticed a difference between someone who weighs more to someone who weighs less in terms of that. But let's get into the game, and we're going to go ahead and show you exactly how this works. So here's our opponent's team, right? We're going to get into the game now. We're going to have a look at his team. We're doing this in casual because I don't want to get D-ranked. But you can see here, this guy has a very, very good team. The players are in the correct positions. Defenders are in defense, midfielders are in midfield, attackers are where they need to be. Let's see how many goals he can score or how many goals he concedes compared to me. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to beat this guy. We're going to do this as live, quote-unquote. Like, I'm not going to edit it. So if I lose, it is what it is. If I win, it is what it is. We're not caring about the result. We're just trying to prove the animations are the same. So just to show you, my team hasn't changed. Everybody's out of position still, you can see. So we can all agree with that. Just to show you that this is the game that we're doing it in. I haven't moved it around. And immediately, right? Cancelo's on the ball. Immediately. Look, skill moves are fine. The left stick dribbling is fine. Passing, the exact same thing. Everyone can do the same skill moves. The passing is the same. Look, no player is being punished as of right now in terms of how they feel out of position. You can clearly see that. And our opponents kind of let us doing this, which was a bit weird. But you can see, look, bang, play it in. Bang, play it in. Passing move, no worries. And then we can do the technical sprint or sprint boost we want. Look at Van de Ven. Moves around, no problem. Drives in, shoots. And we unfortunately don't get a goal there, but we do get ourselves near an own goal. But you can see, there's no difference between defense and attack in this really small sample. Now, our opponent isn't playing. He's like he's going to quit, maybe. If he quits, we get into another game. But you can see, he's obviously seeing my point and understands. So he's left. So immediately he saw there's no difference. So let's go ahead and jump into a second game because that might be just a bit of fluke. Maybe I've done some magic editing, etc. So we're going to go into another game now. So into our second game then, we've got a different opponent this time. And again, I'm not saying this is going to help you win games playing centre-backs up front and strikers in defence. But what I'm telling you is there is a certain type of player that can just help you win games in every position. So we're playing against somebody who's absolutely brand new to the team. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to get into the game. I'm going to pause it. This guy's brand new to the game, so this is fantastic. And again, I'm doing this in casual because I don't want to get deranked. So I'm trying to get back into Diamond and hit Premier again just to show you guys that it is possible and I can do that. So I get a lot of stick for that. But anyway, the tearing off. You can see here every player's tackle animation is the same. Shooting animation is the same. Doesn't mean a centre-back's going to score more than a striker. So that means the stats are correct. And just to show you again, here's the team. We haven't moved anybody. We've still got people where they are. Now, you immediately saw left stick dribbling, passing, everything outlast. That's the same. So with passing, instead of just doing your standard A or X pass like this, always hold down RB or R1 when you pass. They control the ball much better and move. So that's what I recommend doing when it comes to passing right now. That is the most accurate pass. If you are familiar to FC25, it's called a ping pass or driven pass, depending what you want to call it. But you can see. And now say we get the ball here, we've got Godfrey, who's a defender, but doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and try and select Rashford, right? Rashford's on the ball now. Trying to tackle the ball even, sorry. So, again, in terms of movement off the ball, defensive jockey is fantastic. And again, bad touch from our AR, and now we can counter-attack. Now we've got Van de Ven. Gets past one, and now we can use the pace of Van de Ven because he's so fast and drive all the way through. And you can see we're one-on-one with the keeper. We're going to go for a finesse round, and it's a good save. So, again, shooting stats do apply, like I mentioned. But you can see there's no difference in the animation. His shot didn't look like a centre-back shot. Yes, his finishing was poor, and maybe that's down to me as well. But I'm just trying to prove the point that animation makes no difference. Now, in terms of things that are broken in the game, we can still do things like that, right? With a centre-back, with a striker, with a midfielder. I wish I could use a goalkeeper out of position, but we can't. So it just shows you there is no differences in animation. It's a bad pass from our opponent. Unfortunately, he's newish to the game. Now we're going to do the broken low-driven shot. Right foot, bang, back of the net. Makes no difference. And I know you guys are going to go, oh, but the goalkeeper's only 59 rated. Van de Ven has 39 finishing. This is what I'm saying to you. So look at the animation of the shot, and I feel sorry for this guy. Using his weak foot as well, by the way. The animation would be the same animation as a Haaland or an Mbappe or whoever, a Rashford. Now going to tackle in, we're hoping he goes down the wing here, which he has done. We're going to use Chiesa, right? Chiesa comes out, perfect tackle from a striker out of wing, out of position. Winger, striker, whatever. Now we know he's going to score because again he's out of position, but look at him driving away, power shot, goal. This is somebody that's playing right back, out of position, with terrible defending, tackles, like Van de Ven, who's a centre-back, or Cancelo as a right-back. The low-driven is the exact same as Van de Ven. So this is where the issue lies right now in this game. is you can play anybody anywhere. So again, we intercept. Di Maria intercepts. We know he's good on the ball. So let's go ahead and select Locatelli. Now, with Locatelli, it's all down to manual defending, as most of you know. I know AI is a part of it. But look, we can just drive through against unexperienced players with somebody who's playing centre-back out of position. Drive through. We got, I think that's Twenzebe at the top. Twenzebe takes a touch. Left stick dribble pass into the shot. And unfortunately, I dragged it wide. But you can see, animations, there's no difference. We've got every single player, bar the goalkeeper, out of position. They are all tackling well. They're all passing consistently. They're all dribbling fantastically. I will get to skill now and show you what skill's like. So Calafiori here, obviously very good at tackling, very big in game, very, very good in game general. Wins the ball, right? Rainbow flick, no problem. Should not be able to do a rainbow flick as consistent. Ball roll, perfect. Low driven, perfect. My exact point. Now, again, I'm only playing against someone on casual. Yes, we're going to obviously include that. But I promise you, you could drop, if you're good enough at the game, you can drop Haaland into centre-back and he's going to be the best defender in the world for you. You could drop Haaland into midfield and he's going to be the best midfielder for you if you understand how passing works. So what does that mean then? How do we conclude this? So again, what that means is there are multiple ways to play this game. It's not as fluent as you would like it to be. So what I mean by this is, of course, positions mean nothing. Yes, there are certain ways to tackle, there are certain ways to score, there are certain ways to pass. I know a lot of you guys seem to think this is cheesing or meta-broken mechanics, but unfortunately, these are consistent mechanics because I can't just, and you saw that at Van der Ven, I can't just run through. I know it was a bad example, but I can't just run through, shoot normally, and score, right? So if I shoot, I hit the post, or the keeper saves it, or it goes in, but I am using a high attacker. Or, for example, I do a normal standard pass. The passing's bad in this. Eugene, the CEO, said himself the pass is not good enough. So there are multiple issues with this. But my biggest issue with how the gameplay feels in all is that I can play with two defenders up front. I can play with midfielders and defenders in defence and midfield. I can play attackers in left back, right back. Here's Rashford now coming out, coming over. Second man press. I don't really want to win the ball here, but watch. Rashford recovers perfectly. Jockeys the space perfectly. Blocks the cross perfectly. And now we got a corner. We're going to let him whip it in, and I'm going to show you that we're going to win these headers with our tall players. Now, again, like I say, there's certain ways to play, which I'll get to the conclusion in a minute. We're going to use Chiesa here, right? Not the biggest player in the world. If he crosses it in, we got ourselves an example here. Of course, he doesn't because we're live, but it doesn't matter. See what he does here. So he passes Chiesa. No worries at all. This is the main issue right now of the game because no one feels individual. Everybody feels the same. So, I mean, this is the end of it now. I don't need to show you much more. I've kind of like shown you how it works, right? So I'm just going to leave anyway. Like I say, it's a casual match. Doesn't really matter. So this is my big problem now. With FC25, I don't know about eFootball or PES, what you want to call it. Maybe different. But if you were to play a player out of position on FC25, the AI response doesn't put them back into position properly. So if you don't know what I mean by that, if my instructions on my CDM are don't cross the halfway line, default hold position. In FC25, if they don't know the position, if they're out of position, like Godfrey's obviously got an orange mark, I mean out of position, the AI doesn't put him back in perfect. He takes time to get there. He causes gaps in the pitch. Problem we have right now is none of my players were in position, and I'll bring up some footage in the background, but all of them held the perfect defensive line, the perfect midfield line, the perfect attacking line in terms of how their coding is set up. So animations and coding are the main issues right now. I'm not talking about scripting or DDA or lag or anything like that. I'm just talking solely animations, and this is the issue. If you are really, really good at the game and you play against somebody who isn't very good at the game, you can have Rashford at left back. No problem. Rashford with his 57 tackling, his 48 interceptions, his 60 defensive position. This is why I think positioning stats mean nothing right now. Because I've got Twenzebe, right? Where is his attacking positionings? Attacking positionings, where are we? Shooting. 39 plus 10. So let's call it 49. He was never out of position. Not once. Van der Ven. Next example. He has 49 attacking position. The same as Twenzebe. Never out of position. With his 37 plus 2 finishing, so 39 finishing, could still score the same goals as a Rashford or as a Chiesa. Now, before you go ahead and debug this completely, of course, you want to have Rashford up front. Reason being is the skills. This is where I think skills definitely work in that sense. Don't have enough evidence to back the claim fully, but we know if you've got bullseye on a player who's really good, they curl the ball much more. Now, that could also be down to his stats when it comes to long shots and stuff like that, and of course pass awareness, etc. Like, who knows? I don't know fully, but what I do know as of right now, the positionings don't mean nothing. So you can essentially, in the middle of a game, and this is what I hate, you can swap this all the way down to, like, this has happened to me quite a lot. Imagine it's happening to you guys a lot. You could be playing the same formation I was playing, 4-1-2-1-2, and then you get a goal up, you switch to a 5-back. You don't have an extra defender, so bang, you just swap somebody there, right? You can put who you want. Let's say you had Haaland and you're trying to hang on for dear life. You just swap Haaland to centre-back because he's the tallest and he dominates in the air. His tackling makes no difference. So they need to fix that as well. This is a massive problem. This is why a lot of your games feel very same-ish. That's why we get a lot of draws. It does kind of does reflect positively, if you like, in your ability. So if you're really good at the game, you will win most of your games. If you're not very good at the game, you will struggle defensively. But what I'm trying to tell you is the animations are off. That's basically it. The formations, they do make a difference. They do. There are ones better than others. We're all struggling with the 5 at the back system. But the reason why we're struggling with the 5 at the back system is because everybody can tackle the same. Everybody can pass the same. Everybody can do the same skills. So you've got yourself a blank canvas, and everybody's a blank canvas. You've just got the name there. So Haaland or Van Dijk. You can swap them over, and I know I've seen it, that Van Dijk will score loads of goals. Haaland will keep loads of tackles and clean sheets, or you can switch them back over like you should. So I'm just doing this video. Hopefully you guys kind of get an idea of what the hell's going on with this and why it needs to be fixed. And yeah, hopefully we can share some light on this because it is a massive problem right now.